Hello Slashing friends, I'm happy to give you my update on my Meteor, Sorceress and the new season of Diablo IV. With this build you can do whatever you want, T100, Duriel, Lilith and so on, but in addition to being very efficient, you'll also see that it's very fun to play. I'll explain everything in that video, and if it's not done already, don't forget to subscribe. I'll start with the skills, but I'll also explain every combo that you need to understand in this setup, so you should not skip this section in order for you to know how the build works. So we'll play Flame Shield to be invulnerable, Teleport for the mobility, and also to gain a stack of Tal Rasha, Ice Blades in order to reduce your cooldowns, also get a second stack of Tal Rasha, the ultimate with almost no cooldown, Fireball and Meteor as our main skill. So as you can see, we don't have anything to grant you mana. It's because you'll always have Inferno, and since when you have Inferno up, you don't have any mana cost, that's why we'll be able to spam Inferno and to use our Fireball. So that's the first combo. The second one is that you'll want to have the Ice Blade in order to proc some Meteor, but also to have your cooldown reduce. The other cool thing is that when you spam fireballs, you can first proc some Meteor on a lucky hit, and it will also reduce the cooldown of Meteor. In addition, of course, to give you some damage, because they hit around 40k, Meteor is around 100k, so of course Meteor is better for the damage, but you'll have a crazy boost of DPS using this setup. There's one last thing that you need to understand, is that when you use Inferno, you'll want to jump in the monster in order to have your cooldown reduced. And with that, you'll have almost always Inferno up and be able to unleash the power of this sorceress. So I show you the combo. First you cast Inferno, then you can spam your Meteor and you cast the Fireball. And you'll see that it's not very easy to understand. You can spam a bit the button if you want, and you just need to spam click your Fireball in order to have your cooldown, and then you jump into the pack. So of course it's against dummies, so it's quite easy to do, but you'll see in the gameplay that in any case it's not that hard to proc. So just do that in order to have the combo of this sorceress, and you'll see that it's very efficient whether you are against bosses or against packs of monsters. For the enchantment, you'll want of course the Meteor and this one in order to reduce the cooldown and to have more Ice Blades. So now for the gear, you'll be playing the new helmet. As you can see, I have a very big cooldown on this helmet, and even if I had it several times, I never had better than 9 seconds. So make sure to have better helm than mine. If you have 6 or 7 seconds, this build will be even stronger, but as you'll see in the gameplay, even with 9 seconds, it's still quite easy to do T100 and Uber Lilith. Also, if you have a Shaco, it's still possible to play the Shaco because you'll have this infinite mana setup. So if you have a Shaco, you can remove this one in order to put Shaco, but just make sure to either use this unique helmet or Shaco, and anything else will not work in this build. Then for the armor, you want to have increased damage, if possible some armor or damage reduction. I don't have it here, but it will help you, especially in T100. You want also some lucky hit chance when you have a barrier, or if you play T-Bolt, because I have my defensive setup here, I have the fact that I gain armor when I deal damage. So if you play T-Bot here, which is possible, you can either choose for this one with Meteor, life, damage reduction, some stats and so on, or you can go for T-Bot, and if you do so, make sure to have this increased armor on your armor chest. Then for the gloves, you want to have intelligence, critical strike chance, lucky hit, attack speed, or some ranks to Fireball, which will be also good. You also want the fact that when you have Asus Ferocity up, you'll want to have increased attack speed. It will help you to cast faster Fireball and also Meteor. Even if you have some cooldown, even if you have a cooldown on Meteor, since you'll cast them faster, you'll be more efficient to afterwards cast Fireball. So then you want the Flicker Staff to reduce your ultimate cooldown, this weapon on the wand in order to get some lucky hit, critical strike damage, mastery skill, damage to crowd control enemies, and if possible some intelligence. You also want damage, increased damage when you have a barrier, and this one in order to increase your critical strike damage with Meteor and Fireball. You want intelligence, critical strike chance, cooldown reduction, and also why not some damage reduced from burning enemies. You have then the Talrasha, increased damage, cooldown reduction, lucky hit, it's very good for this build, and you can also consider this one, which is okay because we have some cooldown reduction, lucky hit chance, a bit of stats, and the burst of damage which will help you to give you more damage. Lastly, for the amulet, you want damage, pyromancy skill damage, and the fact that meteorite will fall during meteor, very important to have this aspect. Just be careful, I still need to change my amulet, I need to reroll these ones, but in the meantime make sure to not take mana cost reduction because as you understood, we don't need mana cost reduction in this build. Lastly, if you want, you can also consider the aspect when you are above 100 mana. It's a bit hard to play, so you can try it, but if you do so, make sure to be at 100 mana in order to proc this aspect. For the gems, you'll want rubies for the life, increase critical strike damage to crowd control enemies, and diamonds or skull if you are capped. I'm at like 69.9%, so a skull to finish in the accessories is perfect. For the construct, you'll want either protect if you are farming in T80, T90, T100, this one is very good, and if you are doing Uber Duriel, Uber Lilith or speed farming, you should go for the flash of adrenaline. You'll also want the fact that you have some damage reduction, cooldown reduction on this utility, and increased duration, which will be very good. Then you want to have focus fire in order to burn enemies and help you with the effects of burning when you're not in range. Then you want to have increased attack speed, fortify, because it will just cost you 1 stone and help you to be fortified in order to get the damage reduction. So we just use this stone in order to get fortify and enjoy the damage reduction, the 10%. Then you want to have this one, which will put enemies vulnerable. If you find the unique stone, you can of course remove this one in order to play protect and flash of adrenaline and use these stones here. For the skill tree, you just want to put 2 points in order to unlock Fireball, get the critical strike damage, get this one which will increase your damage above 50 mana, so it's quite easy to use. Then you want 1 point here to have the healing, 1 point to get some damage reduction, 1 point to reset this one, and 3 points to increase your damage. 3 points for the lucky hit, and 1 point to have the cooldown reduction on your other skills working, especially with the Firebolt. 3 points to increase your damage based on your conjuration. Since we'll have plenty of Ice Blades, this will be very good. 3 points to get some damage after spending mana. We don't proc it very often, but it's still good to have, and the fact that you'll get barrier when you use a spell with cooldown, this one is very important. You can put the last point here, and you want the fact that you will immobilize enemies, 3 points for the damage here, and 1 point to have a chance on the Fireball to immobilize your enemies. You want 1 point here in order to have no mana on your Inferno, and the last point in Jesus Ferocity in order to boost your damage. For the Paragon, first you want to have increased damage on your Mastery skill, and then you want to have here increased critical strike damage. You also want to get through here, and you won't take this node, but will get this one, which will increase your Pyromancy skill damage. Take this, and this glyph. Make sure to put it here in order to boost your fire damage, just here. Then you get this glyph. Also make sure to put it here because it will boost your non-physical damage, and you want also some resistances just here. We won't take this node, we go on this board, we won't take this node too, but get this glyph in order to increase your damage to burning enemies. We want to get this one in order to have the dexterity. We go back here, we go here, we take this glyph, increase damage to vulnerable enemies, but also a 10% damage bonus, which will be very good. If you want to do bossing, this one is better. If you want to do speed farming in Nightmare Dungeon or push Nightmare Dungeon 100, territory will be a bit better. So for bosses, this one, for Nightmare Dungeon territory. I'll finish this video with some gameplay, and you'll have several gameplays, for example, Speedfarm T85, T100, Lilith, Duriel, and also Malphas. You'll see that it's quite easy to do. You just need to use your ultimate in order to pack your enemies, and then to dash through in order to get some cooldown on your ultimate. When you have a spell available, use its cooldown, and when you use your ultimate to spam fireballs in order to do damage, but also to reduce your cooldowns. You just have to pay attention to 2 things. First one, in T100, be careful of ranged enemies because they'll do plenty of damage on you if you don't kill them fast enough. And the second one, if you dash into a pack, make sure to have your cooldown ready because otherwise your sorceress won't like it. Finally, if you want to kill Lilith with this character, I also put the link with Uber Lilith in order to kill her and to know every pattern. So if you want to do it with this sorceress, it's possible, and you have the link just below the video. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you'll enjoy this build and have plenty of fun with this Meteor Sorceress. I'll also get her into the gauntlet when it's available, so of course I'll post an update at this time.